Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. Somebody ought to play that 42 or 4424 or 4244. And if you do, make a donation to the Java Cafe, to the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, and put in the memo Java with Jimmy. Good morning, everybody. Listen, we have a special call-in edition today. I have my friend and brother that's with me coming in a second. I got to speak and see his dad today, and Pops Davis looks wonderful, and he went swimming yesterday. So to all the Java fam, the Mother's Board, and everybody that's been praying for him, just wanted to give you that update. And Anthony can do that himself. So we're going to bring in my good friend and brother, Anthony Davis, aka entering the Boston Magazine. Okay, let me get it right. The Boston Magazine most influential Bostonians list. Entered at 111. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, brother. How you doing, man? It's good to be here with you.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I mean, you know, the good, bad, and ugly behind the scenes, but I'm doing well. Excited to have you here. And so for folks that don't know, I don't see how they can, but for folks that don't know who you are, please introduce yourself and say good morning to folks, and we'll jump right in. We got City Councilor Ruth C. Lujen that is coming in at 9:15. I believe everybody is calling in. We may have a couple of people that pop in on screen, but Anthony, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and in that, you know, wrap up with coming to Boston and some of the stuff you did and why you're 111 on the list.
Well, good morning, James. Good morning, Java fam. You know, I feel like we're gonna keep things very authentic today.
Yes,
because,
sir.
You know, you and I, we've been talking a lot more offline than on these lives nowadays, and
Yes,
so we're gonna turn the curtain back and let people just hear how we talk to each other on a regular basis.
Yes, sir.
So Anthony Davis Jr. I am a 30-year-old. I think it's very important to note. I want to start it with that this morning. Native of the Prince George's County, Maryland area, but I am a Bostonian now.
Yes,
I can say that proudly. We're going to get into just kind of the the difficulty that came with accepting that.
Okay.
But there is a newfound joy and acceptance and being a Bostonian and pride in it as well. Not just because of the list, but you know, I know we're going to talk about this, but the list is just a representative of the work that I've been doing for such a long time in Boston. I came to Boston in 2018 as a career organizer, having worked on a number of different campaigns around the country, and came to work on Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley's first race for Congress in 2018. As an organizer, I was working in Dorchester and Roxbury, and had no idea what these neighborhoods were and how important they were to the city of Boston, especially to Black Boston, and just the pride that represented in those neighborhoods. And was working with college students, and we won that election. We sent Ayanna Pressley to Congress. The first time that we're sending a Black woman in the over 250 year history of the state of Massachusetts to represent us on the federal level. And that was in 2018. I was 24 at the time. So I think it's also important to note, as we kind of go through this trajectory, how old I was as I was doing these different things.
Yes, sir.
Fast forward a couple years, in 2020 and 2019, I had the chance of working on Senator Elizabeth Warren's presidential race as an organizer on her campaign. And although that wasn't necessarily Massachusetts and Boston based, I was based in Boston for that year and a half. I was working on her campaign, And obviously the senator she has impact nationwide, but her impact is felt most here in Massachusetts. And so, it was a joy to work on her campaign at 25 and 26. I got to travel around the country, get on stage in front of thousands of people and speak and be her hype man, but also learn how to organize in so many different places. One of the things that I think is really important as an organizer is being nimble and
Yeah.
being able to, not adapt yourself to the neighborhood, the community that you're put in, versus trying to do a one size fits all type of strategy or organizing. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. They feel like they have their blueprint. They're going to go into every community, implement this blueprint, and it's going to work. And that's just not how organizing works. And so I learned that during that campaign, getting to go to Florida, getting to go to Alabama and Mississippi and places where we don't, politically don't look like Massachusetts. Absolutely. And so I learned, those political spaces and landscapes. And then I brought it back to Boston, brought it back to Massachusetts. I like to say I cut my chops while working for a Massachusetts Democrat, and then came back to be a Massachusetts Democrat and have impact as a Massachusetts Democrat. And so and I worked on Joe Kennedy's race for Senate in 2020, and that one didn't go great. But right after that race, I had the honor and pleasure, and I just want to uplift her name. My good friend Mary Lou Akai Ferguson, who
Yes.
is managing Mayor Michelle Wu's pending race for mayor, hadn't even been announced publicly yet. In September of 2020, she called me and said, "Anthony, I want you to join the team with me. I feel like, I could trust you. You know Boston, you learned Boston." And we were almost building a team of transplants. Like, most of the people who were on our political campaign team were not Boston natives. Neither is the mayor. And so it made sense. It created synergy within our team. And I think we almost took a lot of pride and pleasure in kind of challenging the powers that had existed in Boston for so long.
Had existed. Let's just emphasize that. Go ahead. I haven't interrupted you once, but that one there. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I'm sure if this list in 2019 would look a lot different than it does in 2024. And a lot of the people who we had to compete with and beat in that race probably would have been on the list in 2019, but are not in 2024. So I just want to call that out as well. And at the same time, this was 2020, 2021. We were going through a pandemic. I got engaged on this campaign. So 26 and 27, that's how old I was when I was working on Mayor Wu's campaign, and then we won that race. And that propelled, we won it by a considerable amount. And that propelled me into launching the Davis system. I got the chance to work with Governor Healy as one of my first clients. Before she was the governor, she was running her race for governor as one of my first clients at 29. And then a year later, we get added to this list at 30. And so the reason why I felt like it was important to say my age in all of these different spaces is also because this didn't happen overnight. I know that I'm young. I know I look young. I know I present young. I know I do things. I have the energy of a young person, but I've been doing this work for a very long time. I've been in the trenches. I've been, missing friends' birthdays, missing family events, missing.
Bro.
It's so much. It's so much that goes into this work, and so to be acknowledged 6 years later for work that I've been doing for 6 years it just lets me know that the work is what matters. That's what matters. That's what's going to always matter. The work is always what matters. I saw this list last year and I could have been like, complaining about, I should have been on the list. I did XYZ. All the things that they listed this year were things I had done as of last year. But it's not about, I didn't let that stop me. And I think that's the most important thing. If I could, pass anything on to anybody who's caught up and like, why didn't I make the list? Or why, how can I get on these lists? Don't be so concerned with the list, be concerned with the work, and the work will eventually speak for itself. If I didn't make this list this year, I would have continued doing the same work that I've been doing. And so that's me, and also how we get to number 111 as well.
number 111. And let's just say, with you naming your 30, you and our wonderful, who's in the playoffs right now, Jaylen Brown, you two are the youngest folks on the list.
And AO Adibri, I want to give her
Oh, yes,
her
yes,
flowers
yes.
as well. Golden Globe
Absolutely.
nominee.
Is she under 30?
Yes, she's under
She's
30.
under 30. And so, and the fact that the youngest people on the list are Black folks, I think just says something. And I want to point out Andy's comment. The list used to reflect the total blindness of the insiders. It's nice to see the list reflect broad spectrum of influential Bostonians. And I may get in trouble, and I said this before, but two individuals, along with others that I know were very adamant about expanding the list and diversifying it, were oh my goodness, Dart Adams and also Dave Bernstein, you know, the last couple of years, especially last year. And so we just want to acknowledge them as well. And so, Anthony, two questions before our counselor, Louis Jean, comes in. Can I ask you, from your perspective, what does influence mean to you?
That's a good question. So to me, influence means impact. To me, you can't have influence without having impact. And what I mean by that is that the work that you are doing has to make Boston better, but it needs to connect communities that have not been connected. It needs to connect communities that have been exiled and locked out of power for so long.
Hold on 1 second, sir. The counselor just called in. I'm sorry.
Okay, nope, we jumped to that
together. Counselor. Oh, Jesus. I thought I had it. Counselor Louis Jean? Okay, Anthony, keep talking about that, and I'll get her straight here.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to have impact in also like connecting communities that have been locked out of power and helping them realize that power. I think one of the things that you do, James, with your platform that is so powerful is that there are so many resources that you're sharing, and now organizations, businesses, medical institutions have realized the power of your platform and exposing folks to resources as well as information as well, and that's impact. So
It
I'd
is
like to go ahead
hugely
and toss it.
It is. Thank you. And I'm getting stuff together here. We're doing our first kind of like intentional live calling show. Counselor Louis Jean, do I have you?
Yeah.
I got you. Counselor, it is good to see you in the room. Thank you, Anthony, for holding it down while I was getting things together here. Counselor, welcome again to the Java Cafe. You are no stranger. First of all, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Jimmy. So happy to be with you this morning.
I am happy to have you here. And so Counselor, it's different.
Hold on. Jimmy, I'm just going to have to interrupt you. I need you to call City Council President, Rusi Lujian. How are you doing, City Council President?
Hi, Anthony. Hi, Anthony. So putting that respect on that name. I see you.
Had to do it. Had to make sure.
Listen, and let's just name that, you know, with what Anthony said in some context to list and things like that. And would Anthony talk about the work, Counselor, and a lot of the work that you've done and doing now? How does this, first of all, greet the folks and then let us know, to be seen as a Black woman, you know, when you first got elected as president, there was some of the trolls that were just saying and doing a lot of things. Like, how does it feel to be seen? And we'll go from there.
I know it feels really good. Like, I mean, I feel like this is it, you know, where I'm called to be, and leadership is not, you know, it's a calling, and it's one that I do lovingly because I love the city. And I think that we can be working together to make it better every day. And it's a heavy crown, right? It's a heavy, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work of trying to make sure that the body stays on task and that we are working together, and that, you know, the president of the Boston City Council, I'm still an at-large city councilor, with everything that's going on in Haiti, you know, and still, like, you know, a politician, right? So there are so many things that are still wrapped up into this, you know, being president of Boston City Council, but it's a calling, and I love service. I love serving the city. So it's an honor.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Counselor, you know, thank you again for being here and making time for this conversation. And so for you, what does influence mean? What does it mean to be listed on this list? I think that is the question. I think for everybody, it's going to be a different answer. And so for you, what does influence and being on this list mean?
For me, it really is just about it's about social capital. And I think about how I was born to two Black parents, immigrants who came in without speaking the language, working at McDonald's and Store 24. And I think about how their emphasis on education as being the way up and out, not just only economically or the social capital that you accrue. And, it's a disservice if you're using it and hoarding it. So if I have influence and if I have social capital, may it be for those who are, for folks who have been marginalized, for folks who have been forgotten by our systems. I'm currently in Mattapan at the Daily Table supermarket. Think about how do we let more people know about the fresh produce that's available here at half off? How do we make sure that we are working in partnership with people who are trying to do good and put on for all of our neighborhoods? And so influence for yourself, for your own shine, it means nothing if you're not using it for others, right? I do believe that the work of public service, you are called to this work, and you are called to use your gifts for the glory of others, for your neighbors, to make sure that no one's that we're looking out for each other as our neighbor, as each other's keeper. And so for me, my influence is for others. If I have any, it is in service to community.
I appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you for that question. Counselor, I'm not sure how long you have, but I don't think I've had you on the show since you did a wonderful thing in acknowledging, what is the brother's name? Anthony, what's the brother's name that was at the concert? Not
Boy.
Burna Boy. So,
So,
Counselor, let me just deviate for a second. You saw a lot of the chatter and whatnot. Can you just give some context for the people that are listening of the significance of that, of the Nigerian community here, can you just for 30 seconds, just tell us about that? And then we'll wrap up with what you would like to see that influence that you talk about. What would you like to see that do? Getting that recognition from the list. But first thing, what is your response to the whole Burna Boy chatter?
There are so many artists, so many groups that have been given a citation or a resolution or recognition or like a day in the city that this chatter was a bit unexpected. Mm-hmm. But, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Burna Boy, Massachusetts has the 9th largest Nigerian population. If you went to his show 2 years ago, you just saw the love and enthusiasm. He is a great, great performer. And so folks in my office and myself wanted to honor him with a day in the city of Boston. Now, it doesn't mean that we weren't working on the many other things. It wasn't the first person actually that my office gave a date to. It's actually, we started off Black History Month on the first Wednesday in February, giving a date to Lillian O'Neill, a 90-year-old Black female veteran advocate, woman advocate, and poet laureate in the city of Boston. The media, the attention goes to someone like Burna Boy because of his international fame that we focus on that. But there are so many people, deserving people, who have days. Andrew McSwain has a day. We're doing days for victims of domestic violence in our city. And so there are, people who get this recognition. Burna Boy is deserving because he is an international performer, and too often our Black performers are sidelined and don't get the recognition. If I told you the name of the bands, the white bands and stars who previous mayors have given days of recognition to, I think people would realize that this is a normal practice of city government, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Thank you, Counselor. One just acknowledgement, Counselor, in reference to what you're doing. A family member of Deja Jenkins Minus wanted to personally thank you, Council President Roofsey, for putting my great niece Deja Jenkins Day on the calendar as May Day. So on behalf of that family and Teresa Minus as well, that's just another example. But I had to ask you that. Anthony will close out with our last question.
Thank you.
Counselor, it's been mentioned in the comments. A few folks mentioned just how many alumni of the city council are on this 150 list. When you think about Councilor Wu, Mayor Wu, Congresswoman Presley, Anissa Sabi George, and our Attorney General as well. So one question for you that we just want to end with is, what do you hope the recognition on this list does for your continued impact in just continuing to grow the impact of the city council as well?
I think it's just, I hope that it's just leverage. You know, I started my career as an attorney, as someone representing folks facing eviction and foreclosure. We have housing crisis in our city and in our Commonwealth. And I believe that housing is a human right and that we need to be doing everything we can to make sure that we are producing more affordable housing for our families. If there's anything that comes with this leverage, with this recognition, the leverage and influence is to put it back into the work, to put it back into the work, to build the power, to make sure that we are using the power for folks who are returning home from incarceration with the Office of Returning Citizens, to do the work of making sure that we are not neglecting whether it's our Black men or our LGBTQ plus members, that we are making sure that people feel seen and heard, not only in recognition, not only in days, but also in the work that we do, in the budget that we put out for the city. So I never looked at it like that, Anthony. There are a number of alums on the 150 list, and I am honored and humbled to be a member, and just hope that, you know, it's not, you want to make sure that I am, you know, doing the work as much as getting the shine, and that's what's really important.
Counselor, we a city council president, rather. I'm so glad to have you. Hey, listen, because I was telling Rob from Hugh the other day. He had put up a post and basically said, you know, you got options if you want to come to Hugh. He named his wife restaurant, and then if you want to give a party at his event space. And, you know, I just typed simply, you know, humble flex, bro. And I think it is important for us to be allowed space with the work that we've put in and whatnot to just give each other flowers and celebrate. And, you know, if you read the beginning of Boston Magazine's on page 78, there's some context to the purpose of that list. They want to start a conversation, and there's been a lot of conversation. And so in that, with you saying, Abe, when we acknowledge your presidency, it is important to give you your flowers and you be allowed to smell them while we give them to you. And so, Counselor, we thank you for being with us today. Last thing, is there anything coming up? I seen you put a post out about a couple of hearings. Anything major you want to get the community to do some action on?
Yes, for sure. You know, our days are long with all these things going on, started at 8, ending at 9, because we have so many budget hearings. So today at 10 a.m., I'll be streaming a conversation on the Boston residents' job policy. And then in the afternoon, we have a conversation about libraries at 2 p.m. in person in the INL chamber. But you can check out my Instagram, Rootsie for Boston. We have a list of all of the budget hearings happening this week. Councilor Orrell, shout out to my vice president, Black president of the city council, Black vice president, first all-Black duo leading the Boston City Council. He's leading us through the budget process as chair of Ways and Means. Yes, I heard that clap. So big data. And so you can visit his Instagram page, is D4 Worrell, to find out more about the budget. But we're really trying to make sure that our first day of the budget on Monday, we had public testimony at each hearing. That is not a working session. We will have public testimony. So we invite members of the public to come out and have your voice be heard during budget season. There's so much that we're doing. So definitely. And we have so much that we're working on in my office when it comes to May for Haitian Heritage Month, when it comes to Juneteenth in June. So we're just trying to make sure that we're putting on for our people. So thank you, James.
Absolutely. Council President, thank you so much on behalf of Anthony and I being here with us today. And we shall see you in community very soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right.
See y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
See you soon.
That was amazing, sir, to have her on with all. She's in community up in Mattapan at Daily Table. So as Andy said, let's just acknowledge that Daily Table was shouted out on the Java with Jimmy show. And so Anthony, I just really realized today, you know, last minute, we reached out to a few folks on the list and we ended up with all women of color.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Not surprised. Hold on. We got our next caller coming. Here we go. We got our next caller calling.
Good morning. You're calling into the Java with Jimmy show. Good morning. Hold on, let me get them. See, trying to be cute.
Oh, I didn't know. If it was,
no, you're good. It was me trying to be cute, and I got the tech messed up. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Miss Chandra?
Chanda.
I said. I'm thinking of Miss. And I'm so glad you weren't on screen because there would have been a look coming up with that. And so everyone, a few weeks ago, we had Chanda Smart on the show, and she was with us talking about the great work that she's doing in the construction space. And so, Shonda, go ahead and greet the folks. We're going to put you on screen there. There you go. I have my good brother, why can't I talk this morning? My good brother, Anthony Davis, on with me. And so please greet the folks and say good morning, and we'll let Anthony start off with his question after you do that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy, for this opportunity. I'm excited always to have a conversation with you. I'm Chonda Smart. I'm the CEO of the Onyx Group Brokerage and Development. We are a Boston-based Black women-owned, 100% Black women-owned and operated development company. So we're not construction. That's our girl, JC. But
that's right.
We are development.
I put it all on one umbrella, but thank you. Sorry so much. Okay, go ahead, Chonda. Thank you.
That's okay. That's all right. You know, we're family, so it's all love. But no, that's who we are. And you know, we're JC and I, Onyx and JC are part of the HYMP3 team that's building the 7.7 acre lot or parcel across the street from the Boston Police headquarters on Tremont Street. And Onyx Group is breaking ground in 2 weeks. Yay! On our 200 senior affordable housing project in Foxborough. So we're excited, and got some other things in the pipeline, and you know, just moving and shaking.
Well, you better go ahead and get it. Go ahead, Anthony.
Good morning, Shonda. Great to meet you. Great to be on the line with you this morning.
Same here, sir. Nice to meet you also.
So I'm really interested in just hearing. You know, this is in Boston particularly has. You know, planning and development has been a space that's been, let's just say, monopolized by white men in the city. And so just as a Black woman-owned business, can you speak to just maybe some of your difficulties in navigating this space, and especially in the beginning, but then to some of the triumphs and victories that you've had that you think had landed you on this list?
So Shab and I started initially as a brokerage and pivoted into development, number one, because there wasn't anyone that looked like us that was in the space. So it was an opportunity, if you will. And with that, we didn't understand how daunting that challenge would be in terms of just, okay, we're going to be developers, right? And we got a lot of opposition. Let's be clear, because folks are like, okay, what have you built of this size? And then you have to, you know, you're up against proving yourself that you belong and or that you're worthy to be in these spaces. And when you don't have a vast portfolio of something of, you know, the caliber of the HYM, so what have you, you're behind the 8 ball, if you will. And so that presented a challenge in and of itself. So when we were trying to come out, you know, our first project, Cass Crossing, we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, really, literally, we got a crash course, a PhD in community development and how to navigate the city, how to navigate the spaces, how to navigate the gatekeepers, how to navigate the gatekeepers. Like, it was a whole thing. And so that was just, you know, at first we had no clue, right? The nuances that community development, that the process took. And so that was just, it was like, we did it. We just did it. And, you know, our first project, we did not win, but what we did win was have, number one, the knowledge of how community works, how difficult it is to go through the process, how difficult the process was at that time. I think it's made significant strides. It's made strides, right? I mean, you know, not significant, but it's made strides to help make the process easier for folks like us, or, you know, trying to get into development. But it was you know, it was difficult. We had a lot of no's. We had a lot of folks that told us, you know, laughed at me in public meetings, like, you're not a developer, what you develop? And it was just, you know, those kinds of situations that made me go home and cry. But then it made me put on my big girl shoes and say, you know what? There's a reason there's no one else in this field. There's a reason there's only 3 of us now, the Marie Morissettes and the Dariella Von Magas. Like, there's a reason, and it's because it's difficult. To your point of how do you navigate that in a white, predominantly male dominated space, it's about access. It's about making recreating the partnership, right? Recreating what that looks like. Because Shab and I couldn't go with no experience, go and ask, Eastern or any bank for $55 million. So we had to be creative about it. We had to go and say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna partner and be creative," and that was our entry, and that was our segue into number one, getting folks to getting that street cred, if you will, but also because it made sense, and so we decided to work smarter and not harder, if you will.
I definitely get that and understand that. And we had a little exchange on social media. And so I had put a post up and you had said, if you weren't having impact, you wouldn't. I can't remember the exact words. And so in that context and what you just shared, how does it feel, Chanda, to be seen on that list? There's varying opinions about lists and whatnot, and we'd be glad to hear your thoughts about that at some point too. But how does it feel to be seen in such a place as you've stated, Heidi Lewis Ivy has stated online and agreed with you in the context of Anthony's question, to be seen and named, and is this your first year on the list?
Yes, it's my first year. I gotta listen. I'm human. It feels good to be recognized. And so, yes, I smiled. I was like, oh, looking at the list, 121. And it feels good. It feels, I'm a hard worker. If anybody knows me, they know I put my head down and I grind. So it's it's nice to be recognized in that sense. But it's also nice to know that now we have a platform, right? We have an ability to use this as a way to help others, and by folks knowing you, then you can open the door for others, and that's really my modus operandi. I'm a community. I think I'm an activist. Shab calls me an activist. She's like, you should be an activist. And I am in a lot of ways, and I bring activism to development and to pretty much everything I do. So that's what it means to me. I'm like, platform, just to have a bigger platform to activate me.
I appreciate that. And last thing before I give it back to Anthony is we don't know who on that 150 list is a developer and has really come to Jesus in these last couple of years, may not have always had the approach and a sincere, genuine, not for a tax write-off, not to just meet the federal requirements for blah, blah, blah of community, but somebody may look on that list and be like, I want to do this and I don't know how. Oh my God, here's somebody that's developing and doing it. And she's a Black woman. So, you don't know what comes out of those lists. So I just wanted to kind of build upon what you said there, because not only will that give an opportunity for you to climb, but it gives you even more leverage to pull the others up with you. Anthony, anything there to add?
And that's what it's about.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it's about. And that's what discourages me. Well, actually, no, it encourages me now, right? Because this is where we're going to start it, right? And we're going to extend the arm down, and we are our brothers and sisters keeper.
That's awesome. So, what are you hoping that this? I know you said that you are hoping to leverage this, but how are you looking to leverage this list placement in your continued impact? And can you speak a little bit to what influence actually means to you?
Influence means,
Anthony, you doing good because Chanda don't pause and
yeah, man. Well, that's true, Jimmy. But I wanted to be very intentional about that answer, but because it's deep, right? Influence, because people can do the wrong thing with influence, right? And it's actually an opportunity. And I think that's would be this influence is an opportunity to make a way, to pave the way, to have a conversation. I don't know how many Black women developers have been on this list. I wow, I don't see any other, of any others on there. So it means, opening the door for others. It's multifaceted, but I think that it's primarily just the access, is providing that access to others.
Anthony said earlier that influence is impact, and you're saying influence is access. And so it's so,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I gotta say, like, you think about it. You meet, or someone high profile, right? And just by knowing them, they will say, "Oh, this is my friend so and so." Now you have access, and that's that's what sort of a dumbed down version of it, but it's really that simple, because it really is about just, it could be just one introduction to change your life. You know what I mean? And so now you're meeting people that you've never met before, and you're in spaces you've never been before. So and what we do with that access is actually also makes all the difference also. But it is about access.
Absolutely.
The reciprocity of the access too. So you get it, but you got to give it.
Say that again slowly, because that's a whole quote right there. The reciprocity of access. What did you say? You got to what?
If you give it, if you get it, you have to give it. You have to get back.
I think we can wrap right there, Anthony. Take a little break real quick before other folks come in. But Chanda, I'm just so proud of you and what you're doing, and also just on offline, being able to see the consistency in your character and always lifting people up and doing this. And I'm looking, you talk about lift as you climb, and we get the significance of that. I look at next year, you being 21 and 91 and 71 and whatnot, for that impact of pulling others with you. Anything you wanted to share, AJ, before we go to break?
No, it's just great to be in this space with you. I identify with a lot of what Shonda said. I think the developer space, as well as the political space, there are a lot of gatekeepers that try and lock specifically. Ooh, why did I just say that? Specifically, people of color, Black folks out of power, and we're so talented. We can really do anything. And so, Shonda, I thank you just for being here, for sharing your story. I know someone's going to be inspired and hopefully reach out. I just reached out and connected on LinkedIn, so hopefully we can connect and talk.
Okay.
Well.
You need some of that.
I'm here.
You need some of that community engagement. As you said, like, we do this. If you need some of that community engagement stuff done, the Davis system, that's what they do. On a project. Or whatever. Right. So this is when you talked about, somebody told me the other day, thank you. And I didn't even realize it. I just do it. They were like, you were in a room, I wasn't there. And somebody came back and told me you had such good things to say. You just never know, one, who's listening, and one, what the opportunities are. So,
amen. This has been an awesome. It's always good to talk to you, Jimmy, and I can't wait to see you again in the hood. And this is, again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. It's been cool.
Chanda, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. Anthony, We will be back in a second. And Chanda, thank you. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Oh, I didn't mean to hit it that quick. All right, we're going to take a quick break, everybody. We're so glad. We have a couple of other callers that are getting ready to call in. Jessica Tang, who is the president of the Boston Teachers Union, and also Vanessa Calderon, who is the CEO of EBA. They'll be with us in just a couple of seconds, and we will be right back with you.
For the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, independent workers who keep our neighborhoods thriving, Connector Care from the Massachusetts Health Connector has plans for every lifestyle and budget.
Having access to affordable healthcare is for everyone in our community.
Connector Care plans help more people save on healthcare that covers all their needs. Find out if you qualify for Connector Care. Visit mahealthconnector.org or call 1-877-MA-ENROLL.
I'm a very sensitive person, and I feel the pain of my people. They know me, they call on me, and I assure them that I'm not a provider, but I am one who cares. I always say to them, well, it's better to know than not to know, because if you know, you can do something about it. Think about the loved ones around you. Think about the ones that love seeing you come through that door. Take the step and get tested. That's it.
Save lives and get screened for colon cancer. For more information, visit boston.gov/cancer.
Well, you talk about perfect timing. The commercial ended, and we have our next caller in, who is Vanessa, who is joining us. Can you hear us? Uh-oh, hold on. Let me get her on. Jesus Lord. All right. Vanessa, can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you all set. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing great. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is a first time we're doing this format like that. So thanks for your patience with us. But we are honored to have you in the room this morning to chat with us. So please introduce yourself. Anthony Davis of the Davis System is on with me as well. And so please go ahead and greet the audience, and we'll jump in and just check with you. This is your first time in the Java Cafe, so we want to give you just a couple of extra minutes to just talk about yourself and the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. I'm Vanessa Calderon Rosado. I am the Chief Executive Officer of IBA, Inquilinos Boricuas en Acción, which is a Boston-based community development corporation that was founded in 1968 by a group of Puerto Rican activists that stopped the city's bulldozers that threatened the community to be displaced. And they created IBA, our organization, to revitalize the neighborhood, develop affordable housing and community programs and services for low and moderate income families. So if we fast forward 56 years, our work and our mission continue to be the same, to develop affordable housing in the city of Boston, to support families and empower them through our housing and community programs to reach their fullest potential and build a path to economic prosperity for their future. So we're very excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I hope this is not the last time I'm in your show.
Oh, no, it's not. And shout out to the Castle Group. They're already lining you up to talk about the groundbreaking. That's coming up soon. So go ahead, Anthony.
Awesome. Yes, we have this wonderful building that we're starting construction basically as we speak. Groundbreaking is happening in May. The building is La Casa, or Center for Art, Self-Determination, and Activism. This will be a new building for IBA that will be the hub for all of our programs and services, including our arts programs. One of the things that IBA has done from the beginning, since the 60s, is to integrate arts as a strategy for community development, to build thriving, healthy, safe, vibrant communities. So the arts, we use the arts not only to celebrate our Latino heritage and roots and culture, but also to bring other people, to create cross-cultural bridges and to build more vibrant and healthy community, both in the south end of Boston where we're located, but also across the city of Boston. So La Casa will have this wonderful art, multi-purpose art community space, plus all of our programs and services under one hub. We'll expand our services, and we'll also be like a one-stop shop for our community to come to receive all the wonderful programs and services that IBA provides, including youth development, financial empowerment, resident services, and obviously all the arts programs. So we're very excited about that. As you may know, Jimmy, it's hard for communities of color to really build this type of assets. So for us, for the Latino community specifically, but for communities of color that are, that access IBA's programs, this will be really a game changer. So we're super excited about the groundbreaking, and that will also free up a building that we're using now for offices and programs to redevelop that building into affordable housing units. So definitely a win-win.
Awesome. Well, Vanessa, just one question for you is, and you are actually the highest person on the list that we are talking to today, at number 36 on this list of 150 most influential Bostonians. So can you just tell us a little bit about, what this honor means to you. What does it mean to be honored on this list, and how are you hoping to leverage your placement on this list to continue your impact?
Definitely. It's a great honor, obviously, first off. This list, for those of us who have been following this list for many years, this list used to be very corporate, very white leading, mostly males, but a few females in the past. And to see the changes of the list of recognition of wonderful leadership, of wonderful change makers across industries in the city of Boston, in greater Boston and in Massachusetts, making a difference. It's really wonderful. So I'm really honored and really, truly grateful to be included, because when you look at, at everyone that is included in this list, you see how they have impact in different parts of the fabric of our city and our region. So it's truly, truly, truly a great honor. And to celebrate, our communities through our work. Like you said, there are, a number of Latinos and Blacks and some also Asians, really people of color making a great, great work in the city and making a difference. And it's really, a testament of tenacity, perseverance, and commitment to make Boston a better city for everyone and to make it more equitable. So I'm truly honored to be part of the list.
Vanessa, if it's your first time on here, and I'm so sorry, but our next caller is calling in, and I have to jump off real quick. Thank you so much for calling, and I'll follow up.
Yes, thank you, Timmy, for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Jessica.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So we had folks lined up back to back, and I just had to knock Vanessa off from Eva. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. We don't have the system set up yet where we can, all put people on hold and take the next call. But good to have you here, Jess. You are our last caller in this morning. Anthony Davis, who I'm sure is with us as well. And so good morning. Good to have you here. And we're going to jump right in and let you greet the folks. You're not a stranger to the Javik Cafe, but we just wanted to acknowledge Jessica, and we're actually I think next month we're also coming up on AAPI Appreciation Month, and Vanessa just also named the great diversity that's on this list. And so I kind of jumped in quick because I was so nervous to get you on before we got you off the two-way. But say good morning and greet the folks, and we'll go from there, and we'll let Anthony start off with just checking in with you.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone, and great to be here. And it's an honor.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jessica, great to be here with you this morning. One question that I have for you just regarding the list is, how does it feel to be recognized as one of the 150 most influential Bostonians? And what does this recognition mean to you personally?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I don't necessarily think that it's always reflective of the movers and shakers. And so I do think to be clear, I think there's a lot of wonderful people on there. But I just take it all with a little bit of a grain of salt. And in my work as a labor union leader, and, I guess I should have probably said a little bit more about who I am. And as the president of Boston Teachers Union, I'm really working with educators and community activists and organizers across the city. And so any win that I'm, quote unquote, oftentimes credited with, it's really not just one person, right? It's really all of us working together and organizing together and taking collective action together that enables us to win the things that we've won, for example, in our contract, whether it's a full-time nurse in every school or more social workers or Boston Community Hub schools, et cetera. And so I guess that's kind of a little bit of my reflection is it's not about me. It's about our whole organization and everyone who takes action and collaborates and is in coalition with us.
Jessica, I'll jump in here, and we didn't go a lot into it with some of our other guests, but I've named this a couple of weeks ago when the list came out. Anthony named it in the beginning, and a couple of folks alluded to it in our previous conversations. But you started off, sort of talking about taking yes, it's recognition for some folks that are doing great work, but you sort of open up the door to really talk about the importance of still highlighting and maybe encouraging folks that aren't on lists, that are doing things in their home, that are tutoring, that are, doing crochet circles with, young ladies and young men, that, young women that are doing construction, with young women. Can you just speak to someone, Anthony talked about it, and Jessica, it's real. We're humans. A lot of people, a lot of this work is sacrifice. A lot of the community work is in addition to the 9 to 5. And so what is it that you would say to someone that just may be feeling some sort of way, not hating or anything, but just maybe share some words of encouragement to keep on going?
Well, I think, a lot of the work that we do oftentimes feels lonely, but that's why, when I ran for president of Boston Teachers Union, 7 years ago, that my platform was really about transforming our union into a social justice organizing union. Because in every fight that we're fighting, and every time that we see something that's like going wrong or that's a challenge, like the answer is to organize, right? And to find other people who may be feeling the same way as you and want to do something about whatever it is that's on their mind. Because ultimately, that's what organizing is about, right? It's sometimes you do feel alone. You feel, I feel alone all the time, right? I'm like the only, speaking of AAPI Heritage Month, right? I'm the only
Come on.
in the room all the time.
Okay, come on, let's go there. Yep.
And we have to create our own community oftentimes. If it's not there, then we have to create it. So if we're feeling alone or feeling like, that, we're frustrated with something and something's got to change or be better, then we got to go out and find the other people who are already doing that work. Or if it's not happening, if that community is not there, then we got to create it. Right. So I guess that's what I'd say is, one, you're not alone. I promise you there's someone else out there who has maybe felt the same way or is experiencing the same thing. And any one individual absolutely can make a difference and make that change. But we're so much stronger when we're doing it in community with other people too, and empowering other people also to be able to make those changes. And ultimately, that is what our union work is about, right? It's about empowering each other and taking collective actions together. It's about organizing for change. And yeah, that's the work we always got to do and keep doing.
And shout out to the unions that represent and get a lot and have always done a lot. Anthony?
Yeah, Jessica, just one last question. Can you just tell us a little bit about where you see the future of education in Boston going, and how, I know the list is just a snapshot of the work that you've been doing and also the larger team, but how you may be able to leverage this placement as you create that future, as you work to create that future with the teachers and with your team as well.
Sure. Well, I hope that the visibility it brings is that, that unions and teachers unions across the country have been fighting for our students in schools in coalition with our parents and students for many, many years now. And that, it's not just in Boston, it's in a lot of other cities too. But I think that a lot of stereotypes exist about unions, and there's a lot of negative stereotypes about unions sometimes, or even about teachers unions specifically. And so my hope is that that visibility will kind of help people to understand actually that, it is the teachers unions that are fighting for, funding for all of our schools and making sure that all of our students have the staffing they need, whether it be a reading interventionist or an art teacher. And making sure that they have not just their academic needs met, but also their social emotional wellness. But then also that they have opportunities for all the other things that can draw students to school, whether it's access to arts or athletics or extracurriculars that they may not otherwise learn about or know about. And so that is our goal. And if this helps to create some more visibility for the important work of educators in Boston and beyond, then that is meaningful to me.
Jessica, thank you for that. And just, what you're saying there about the teachers unions, all type of unions, we have a common friend, Darren Howell, and others that move in this union space. And even in college, when I took a class and learned the history of how unions have really, the reason we have a Monday through Friday, 40-hour, standard work week is because of the unions. The reason we have child labor laws is because of the unions. And so shout out to unions. And yes, you name, some things or whatever, but unions, they get a lot done. And especially, with what you do with our teachers. And we just got a name. I saw a video yesterday of either a para or a teacher that was assaulted. And it just, I just think it's important, as you said, with this list and getting in rooms with people, and you've already been there, but this recognition to be able to raise the importance of properly compensating our teachers and also giving them supports that they need. If nothing else comes out, from this list, I hope that's something that you can point to, that maybe when we chat with you again next year.
That would be great. And we are in the middle, like it said, actually, we're in the middle of contract negotiations. We have a big rally on June 5th. We invite the community to come out and support. And we do need higher pay, particularly for our paraprofessionals, who are our lowest paid union members, and disproportionately also women of color from the Boston community. And so, we've got to talk about the racial equity in that too.
So Jess, we'll add this to the list in our group chat. We're already talking about inviting some folks back. So Jess, let's get you scheduled before the 5th so we can sound the alarm about that and get you over. And Anthony, was there anything else before we let Jess go?
No, just thank you, Jessica, for making time for this morning, and just all the work that you do on behalf of not only the teachers, but our schools and our students as well. We know that once our teachers are taken care of, our students will be as well. And so just thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. And we definitely feel that it's our job to take care of our students and community too. So we'll continue to do that, and appreciate you all, and appreciate you all inviting me on too.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jess. We'll be in touch.
All right. Sounds good. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Anthony.
We made it through, brother. The tech and not all. We made it through.
And I'm gonna be honest. I told Anthony in the group chat, I'm tired. And it, usually it's an interview. No, it's the anxiety. And then Aaron and Anissa up in here. I don't know what I did, but we'll figure it out. But Anthony, I just want to thank you. Not only just for being here today, but thank you, as I said in the post, for all you do for the city, for all you do for me, with the team, with Anissa, Aaron, Asia, Richie, Tom.
Yeah,
everybody.
Thank you. I was going to do the same.
Go ahead. You the CEO. You do it.
No, as Jessica said, like being recognized on this list is just a snapshot of the work that our entire team does. I was so glad to see, founder and CEO of the Davis System LLC. One, because of like what that represents for me and my family, but also like the work that our team has done. Like Aaron, that NAACP Day of Action and Service that they mentioned, Aaron was the lead person running that from our team side. The campaigns and stuff, that's where I cut my teeth. But community organizing, I have to give my wife her credit, because she is the native Bostonian, and I wouldn't be in the place that I am in without her and her knowledge. So please, I need to give it up to Aaron first, my wife, my lovely wife, my business partner, my COO, and then to Tan, who holds us down, who is like my work child, and then Asia, Richie, Miles, Anissa. I told Anissa that this recognition wouldn't have happened for me. You wouldn't have rose almost 80 spots if she wasn't there to help us tell our story. And that part is so important, because we're able to control our narrative. And as Shonda said, it's hard to not be human and be really excited about the lists and these recognitions. But, I'm just excited. It just motivated me to continue to do the work and continue to do it more. And, just looking forward to the rate rising on this list, potentially us rising, and, my team being added. Is just the impact is going to continue to grow. And so just thankful for you creating this space this morning as well.
Absolutely, brother. I thank you. I appreciate you. And we both are going to continue to lift each other and others as we rise, and we're getting We're getting good shout outs on here. We did it. Sharon Cornelia said we did good. And so yeah, we'll just have to get another type of phone. I think that's what I got in trouble for. When Aaron said no, he didn't. Yes, I did. Y'all know I be messing up doing cues. And anyway, so we're going to get off of here. I'm going to get Anthony off of here and just share a few things. But Anthony, thank you so much, and give mother and pops my best. And we'll I'm sure we'll no, we meet tomorrow. So
Yep.
but I'm sure we'll text after this and
I'm sure.
all that good stuff. But thank you, man, so much for being here, and keep rising, keep percolating that system, bro.
Yes, sir. Will do. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. Listen, folks, that was one of our most interesting shows. We really did a full call-in show. And shout out to Aaron and Anissa, who I believe Aaron introduced the idea. Anissa was like, yeah, and we got it done. And so shout out to those Black women and our 4 women of color that was here with us today. It's just, I'm really tired, y'all. That I told Anthony, that tech anxiety will deplete you. And so just wanted to share a few things with you. One of which, and I don't know where I put it. I need to get it. Last year, the last couple of years, actually, we've had the opportunity to sponsor a health fair. And so Mother's Day weekend, we are having the Your Healthy Java, Dr. Joe Betancourt, 3rd annual health fair at the Thelma Burns building. Registration is open. I posted it on Facebook yesterday. I'm trying to find the flyer here to share it here with you all. But I want to make sure that you all know that the health fair is coming. And as you know, we give away a large amount of gift cards. And also, Pam, I'm going to get that in a second. We give away a large amount of gift cards, as well as this year, we are going to finally give away the certificates for the custom sneakers, because we were so caught up last year, I forgot to give them away. So we're going to give those away this year as well. And so I wanted to make sure you all know about the health fair, and we'll get the link up on the screen in just, nope, not that. We'll get the link up on the screen in just 1 second for you. Just give me a second here. While I'm getting that up, please also keep in mind that this Saturday at 10 a.m., we will be live at the Museum of Science, back on the world stage, talking with some folks that are doing some great work around climate change. As we know, Monday was Earth Day. We had guests from the Museum of Science with us. We're going to be there live, literally in front of the globe. There in the blue wing of the Museum of Science, and you can get in for free. You can use this code throughout the weekend, JWJ Rise 24, JWJ Rise 24. That's taking place this Saturday. And then 2 weeks from there, we will gather at the Thelma Burns building at 575 Warren Street from 11 to 3 p.m. for the 3rd annual Your Healthy Java Joseph R. Betancourt Health Fair. That's a lot. We're just going to have the health fair, but I really wanted to honor Dr. Betancourt in having that. And so registration is open. Now, listen, let me tell you something that we did last year. Of the first 100 people, so if you're of the 100 that registers first, you get in and you register, and you are of the first 50 people that registered that show up, you automatically get entered into receiving a $100 Stop and Shop gift card. Last year, and we may do it this year, upon entrance, you got a $10 gift card. There were snacks, health information. We did raffles. We gave away all type of gift cards and things. And so DJ Jeff 2 Times is going to be there. I'm looking at maybe having, not knowing what the weather is, maybe a couple of outdoor activities, but please plan on coming on May 11th. We have about 99.9% sure secured, some great sponsors and partners that are making sure that we're able to give back to community. As Anthony said, it's about impact. And so we're having that health fair. Let me get the link right here for you all real quick, so you all can go sign up today. Hold on for 1 second. That was about a payment, Jesus. All right. Here we go. So, health fair. My profile, James. All right. Here's the link. I'm going to put it in the comments right now. and you can go and register now. I already seen a couple of you know what? Y'all UCBers are too. I'm gonna call Eric on y'all and tell Eric y'all be in here acting up. Okay, so here is the link to go sign up for the health fair to register. Be one of the first 100 people. Welcome back, Real. Good to see you in the room. He need to be on that list because he is very influential. The life-size Jenga. So for me, and that thing kept scaring us. We're not going to have that. We may not have as many games because we need to make room. There are people, I can almost tell you now that the room is already filled with providers. I haven't even put the list out yet. And MGH is ready. We have some other providers that are coming as well. And so, yes. I think that is it for me. UCB, y'all get 90 minutes today. Y'all better go ahead and get 90 minutes. Game night next Tuesday, sponsored by Diaspora Mass and Real Boston Media as well. Game night next Tuesday with one of my clients at Long Live Roxbury. So please go out and check that out. If you have not been to Long Live Roxbury yet, go check it out. The folks that came to my event, all of them were like, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. Oh my God, this is so nice. So we're going to do some things there next month as well. So that is it for me this morning. I think I'm going to get in trouble again. Let me go see who's with us tomorrow morning. I'm already getting, somebody left the show and went and filled out the form. My phone just said, boop, boop. Y'all are already registering. Okay, so tomorrow morning, tomorrow is the 25th. Hold on. Tomorrow's just me. So we're going to catch up tomorrow. I get to say Sharon Cornelius and everything. Real, don't be laughing at me. I get to I'm tired. All right. Yes, Miss T. I'm going to definitely eat and drink. And I think that is it. You all have a great day. And yeah, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Just Java. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Again, thank my co-host. So what this also made me realize, Anthony, Aaron, and y'all, and with Anissa knowing how to do StreamYard in the back, guess who feels confident that he can plan a vacation and have somebody else host Java with Jimmy? Soon come, y'all. Soon come. For 4 years, I've had anxiety about going off for more than 2 or 3 days, and where there's a whole one day next week. We are going to. I've been alluding and hinting to some updates and some changes and some things that are going on. One day next week, I did chat with Anthony, and he suggested that I do it in the morning rather than the evening. And so we'll figure it out for next week. I know all the Java fam will be here, but once we put the information out, I know a lot of other folks are going to come in too, trying to find out what's going on. So just keep your ears open for that next week. That's it for me. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. we will, well, I got a meeting tonight. It might be, all right, I'm getting off here. It might be tomorrow morning. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we shall talk to you soon.